welcome to Hypothetically Intentional, where we ask the question, what if we set intentions with everything we do? I'm your host, Michelle Albers, and today my intention is to be curious, and I might be a bit nostalgic. I'm sitting here thinking about where this podcast started. We're in season 3. I say we. It used to be my son and I. That's where we started, and I think back to when we started, and I won't speak for him, but for me, I really didn't realize how nervous I was about being on a mic. But there were signs, right? Like mispronunciation of names or stumbling over words or for me, when I would go back and listen, it just took a hot second to get used to hearing my voice. And I don't know how many of you are podcasters or speakers or have this experience of, oh, this is different. I mean, now I feel like I'm having conversations with friends. But when I first started the podcast, it felt very vulnerable and very risky almost. And I think it was just getting the familiarity of it, understanding that, like, what was it that was really causing me that angst? I think it was part perfectionism, part fear of what people might think, and all of those kind of things. And now we're into season 3, and I'm finding myself just truly enjoying the conversations and really enjoying this connection, even though it's on some level disconnected, right? Because I don't know everyone who's listening. I don't get to know that or see that on a really personal level. And the conversations that I have on the mic, if I'm speaking out into the ethers, I feel like I'm speaking to actual people, not just out to the ethers. And when I have conversations with guests, they're just amazing. And I always learn something and feel a bit brighter, meaning like lighter and brighter, not so heavy, energetically connected, and just feel good about the conversations. So this is me reflecting on where this podcast started. So if you go all the way back to the beginning and listen to where we started, Andrew and sometimes Jake and I would find things that interest us, and then we would sort of have a conversation about it and get our own perspectives and each other's perspectives and just share that on the mic. And I really enjoyed that as well. And then over time, they got busier and had less time to be on a mic. And then it sort of morphed into more of a choose yourself, heart and soul of Michelle and what might be purposeful in this world. So I just want to thank you for being here. I think really this is me being curious about where the podcast started, how I showed up then versus how I show up now, and what might be different about it, and just really feeling a whole lot of gratitude and some fond reflections on where it started. And who knows where it'll go. But I am enjoying this, and I'm hoping that there are listeners out there that find it helpful. And I'm curious, there's another thing I was thinking about this morning, and I'm completely shifting gears. I'm curious about traditions and how they work for you, or maybe how they work against you. I have a lot of memories of really amazing family traditions, and none of them are really here anymore. We don't really do them anymore. I feel like my mom was a big catalyst for that, and not in a we must do this kind of way, but in that she just had this way of bringing people together. And since she's passed, I feel like so much has changed, and not even in a good, bad, or indifferent way, but just I'm reflecting on the traditions, and some of them I really enjoyed. Maybe all of them I really enjoyed at the time, but thinking about it now, I feel like that I get to be curious and I get to explore what might work for Christmas. And for us, that's what we celebrate, Christmas and even New Year's. I remember the days when it was all parties and big gatherings. And I find now, especially for New Year's, I really am more, I just want to be. I want to be quiet. I want to be still. I want to reflect and perhaps set some intentions going forward. And I'm just curious, if I haven't really spent a lot of time in my life thinking about traditions and what they might mean, how they might serve, but also how they might maybe get a little messy at times. And I just wonder maybe this is an invitation to just consider, are there traditions that maybe it's time for them to fade out or fade away? And are there new traditions that you want to set? Or maybe is it a little more open and let's explore and curious kind of a thing? I think sometimes traditions have this way of creating almost like a need or an attachment or a must. And I find that life has a way of throwing hiccups in that kind of stuff every now and again. And I don't know, I'm just navigating things differently these days. And I'm really grateful for that. And I'm really grateful for what was. I'm grateful for where I've been and where I am and where I'm going. And even in the unknown of that, I find it all pretty magical today. So thanks for joining me. This is really a shout out to you, the listeners, and I appreciate you tuning in and listening to all the variety of conversations. That's the other thing I like about having guests is they're all different. I never know exactly where we're going to go. I just know we're going to have conversation that hopefully will be in some way, shape, or form helpful to you who are listening. So thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share if this is something that you find helpful, or you think of someone when you're listening to an episode and you think it might be beneficial to them, send it their way. And have a great day. I think I just want to say day. I want to keep it at day. Have a great day, and I'll see you again or be here again next week. Bye.